So hi everyone and welcome to the application information session at CSSSA. My name is Matthew Gallagher and I'm the brand new director of CSSSA. I'm also joined by several of my colleagues from CSSSA who throughout the presentation will help to answer some of our questions today. All right, so our agenda for the event is fairly straightforward. I'll provide a brief overview of the application process, showcasing slides that address some of the frequently asked questions that we've been receiving from our applicants. Following the presentation, we'll open up for questions and do our best to answer as many of them as possible. Please note that as we are a large group, some of your very individualized questions might best be addressed following this session. You can always email us at application@csssa.ca.gov, and we will work with you one-on-one. A few norms for the session. Please mute your microphone so that we can avoid too much background noise during the presentation. You can ask questions in the chat feature located at the bottom of your screen. And then finally, the session is scheduled for 30 minutes, but we will absolutely extend if there are many questions from all of you. We'll aim to extend by 45 minutes, but we will for sure not go over 1 hour for the sake of everyone's time and attention. All right, so gonna let a few more folks in. Welcome to those of you who just joined. All right, so the next slide is an important one. I'd like to start by reminding everyone that the CSSSA application deadline is 1 week from Friday, February 26th at 6:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let a few more folks in. The biggest takeaway that we hope you have from this session is that we recommend you submit your application early. Spend time working on it this week, this weekend, and make sure that you give yourself time to complete all of the questions in the online application, as well as the supplemental assignments. This is a hard deadline, and so it's important to apply early to ensure a successful submission. All right, so some details on how to apply as a sort of quick overview. The online application, which many of you have started as you've been invited to this session through your starting the application online, there is a $20 application fee. So we do review requests for fee waivers from applicants who are unable to pay the $20. You can simply email us at the address application@csssa.ca.gov to inquire further, and someone from CSSSA will work with you individually. All right, so recommendations. We ask for 2 recommendations from either your teachers, mentors, or employers. We ask that at least one of your recommendations is from a teacher relevant to the discipline at CSSSA for which you are applying. I'll talk more about the recommendations in detail in a short while. With transcripts from your high school or middle school, if you're currently in 8th grade, they can be uploaded directly into the online application. They can be unofficial copies that you print from your school portal, or they can be scanned copies. And finally, each of the disciplines at CSSSA has specific arts assignments that we ask you to complete and upload directly to the online application. They vary from discipline to discipline, and they change slightly each year. I'll talk a little bit more about the assignments as well in just a moment. All right, school information. I'm now going to dive a little bit deeper into other aspects of the application in response to some of the frequently asked questions that we've been receiving from our applicants. Let a few more folks in, just pause for a moment. All right, so starting with school information, I've included 2 screenshots here on the right. The first in the upper right-hand side, you'll see that you can start by either typing your school name or the location of your school directly into that field. And if you've just joined, please do mute your mic to avoid background noise. So you can type your name, or you can type the name of the school or the location. In this case, I've put the location in of Los Angeles. You can then see a drop-down list of schools with that name or location, and you can scroll down to find your school. Now, if you don't see your school listed, You can simply type other in the field, as I've done on the bottom right, and you will see that the word other appears in that drop-down list. Select other as your school, and then a new field will appear where you can simply type the name of your school in the open text field and move on in your application. All right, so the next one is regarding high school transcripts. So your high school transcript can be uploaded directly into the online application, as I mentioned. Please know that we're not assessing your grades. Rather, we use the transcript to certify that you are enrolled in a California high school and that you are of the appropriate grade level to be eligible to attend CSSSA. Note too that we do have 20 spaces reserved for students coming from out of state or international regions. Regarding grade levels, CSSSA welcomes students grade levels 9 through 12, which includes students who are currently in grade 8 and will be entering grade 9 next fall, as well as current graduating seniors. All right, recommendations. So you can register your recommenders in the online application, and I've included a screenshot here of what that looks like. There you simply provide their name and their email address. They will then receive an automatic email notification, and they can reply directly to that email to submit their recommendation to CSSSA. Now, if you don't have a teacher that relates to the discipline at CSSSA that you're applying for, say that you're homeschooled or your high school doesn't have a theater program and you're applying to theater, don't worry about that. Find a teacher or a recommender who knows you well and can speak well for your creativity. You can also email us if you want to let us know more, or if you have questions or concerns about your choice of recommender. The deadline for your recommenders to submit is March 6th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right, so technology questions. Let a few more folks in who are joining. Looks like we have a great turnout, so thank you all for participating. All right, so the technology questions. I'll talk more about our plans regarding the COVID-19 pandemic in a short while, but we do not currently know if the session will be in person or virtual, though we are of course hoping that it will be in person. To help us plan for the possibility of a virtual session, we've added some questions to the program section of the application regarding technology. Simply let us know what laptop or computer access you currently have. In addition, some of the disciplines such as animation, film, visual arts have additional questions regarding equipment and software programs that you also have access to while you're creating your work at home. Simply do your best to answer these questions, which will give us a sense of what technology you currently use to explore your creativity. All right, so the arts assignments. Each of our disciplines, and many of you know this, of course, have a series of assignments to complete. I won't review each of them and every one of them now for the sake of our time, but I'd like to point you in the right direction to make sure that you have most of the important information at your fingertips. So the application requirements for each discipline are listed on our website. I've included here in the screenshot one from our animation program. Note that each assignment has detailed information for you. It's important to read the instructions carefully, maybe even multiple times through, as there is a lot of specific language to help you along. Information is also provided on the website for how to label your files. Take a close look at these instructions as well. You label them and then upload them to the online application. For applicants from the 2020 summer session, please note that you are considered a first-time applicant if you are now applying to CSSSA 2021. You will therefore need to complete all new assignments for submitting the 2021 application. And then a note for returning students, which would be relevant to those who attended CSSSA the summer of 2019 or earlier. You will need to write an additional short essay explaining why you wish to return to CSSSA, as well as submit a recommendation from an instructor of your prior discipline at CSSSA. All right, so, tuition and financial aid. Tuition is set for the summer at $2,350 for the full 4-week program. This includes all course, room, the housing that you have, the meal plan, and most of your supplies. Note that most summer programs of this length are typically 3 to 4 times the cost to attend for the student. We're fortunate to live in the wonderful state of California that supports young artists and CSSSA in this way. Now, $2,350 is still a big investment. Through funding provided by the CSSSA Foundation and our generous donors, almost 40% of CSSSA students receive financial aid each year. At CSSSA, every student with demonstrated need will receive financial aid. The financial aid application is available on the same online application for the program itself. Know that applying to financial aid has no bearing on getting invited to CSSSA. In fact, your financial aid application is not even looked at until after your program application is reviewed. To apply for aid, your parents or guardian will simply need to upload a copy of their most recent tax return or proof of income. Parents who do not have this information can simply email comments@csssa.ca.gov for assistance, and we can troubleshoot that with you one-on-one. Okay, so almost finished up with the slide presentation. Before we open for questions, I'd like to provide an overview on COVID-19 and our current planning. As of now, CSSSA is hoping to run the 2021 summer session in person. If we cannot run an in-person session due to California State and LA County restrictions, we will for sure be running a virtual program. It will bring the same integrity, creativity, and inspirational experience to CSSSA that we've been known for so many years. One way or another, it will be a robust summer session. We are currently planning for both scenarios, and we hope to announce the confirmed mode of instruction in the near future. We've received many questions regarding tuition costs should the program be virtual. Know that as we are a state of California program, we are by no means intending to profit from a virtual session. In fact, if it is virtual, we may lower tuition if we're able to do so. So stay tuned for more information on CSSSA's mode of instruction for this summer session. All right, and then finally, how to stay connected throughout this final week leading up to the application deadline. Make sure that you contact us with any questions that you have about CSSSA, the application, or anything else that comes to mind. You can email me directly at mgallagher@csssa.ca.gov at any time. You can also email the general CSSSA account, comments@csssa.ca.gov. You can also find us on social media, where we have active accounts on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Our website includes the latest information on our plans for the 2021 summer session, including those influenced by the pandemic. So keep checking our website to stay informed as we move forward in the coming weeks ahead.